왓리메인즈오브에디스핀치. 자, 오늘은 해볼 건데요. 왓리메인즈오브에디스핀치 라는 미스터리 스토리 게임입니다. 에디스 핀치.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
집부터 시작이라 하면서 여긴 어디야? 분위기 엄청 스산하네요.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
우체통이 있네요.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
The Pinches. 어느 쪽으로 가야 될까나? 윗길 먼저 가볼까? 밑으로 갔어야 됐나?
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
저 사람이 없으면은 동물이 오는 법이죠. 밑에도 길이고 여기도 길인 거야? 안녕? 가버렸네. 갔으면 뭐 어쩔 수
The truth
없지.
is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
집이 신기하게 생겼네. 저건 뭐야? 분위기를 스산하게 만들어주는 게 왜 이렇게 많아?
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
근데 지금도 약간 뭔가 좀 불편한데요? Missing. 누가 실종됐나 보네? 밀턴 핀치. 밀턴 핀치라는 애가
As a
실종됐었나 보구나.
17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
이런 집이면은 두려울만 하지.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
그러면은 뒷문이 아니구나.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
집이 책이 엄청 많네. 그러면 뭐 옆에 이런 데로 들어갈 수 있을라나? 아무것도 안 뜨고. 화분 밑에 뭐 없나? 뒷문이네? 무섭게 이런 걸 달아놨어. 개구멍으로
Crawling through the
들어간다고?
doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
다 컸는데 개구멍으로 열려있네? 이건 뭐야?
The power had been turned off the night we left.
착실하네. 전원까지 꺼두고 가고.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
집에 있으니까요.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
무슨 통조림 공장에 취직해서 급료 대신 통조림을 받아온 거야? 왜 이렇게 많아?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
책이 너무 많아요.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
집이 침몰을 해요? 주인공 어렸을 때의 사진들인가 보네요.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
바바라 프린치가 할머니인가 보네요. 증조 할머니. 이 2층을 일단 보고 가는 게 낫겠지?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
밀턴이 사라지고 밀턴이 아까
Then
그
Edie
실종 전단지에
retaliated and
있던
drilled peepholes.
밀턴이 아까 실종 전단지에 있던 걔죠? 이거 뭐야?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
여기가 증조 할아버지 방이야? 벽지가 낭만이 있네.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
이건가? 이거네?
Turns out my mom was really good at
20,000
keeping secrets.
20,000 leagues under the sea. 진짜 비밀의 방이야?
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
와, 대박.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
방이 있네. 장로하고
Just like I
연결돼 있나
had no
보구나.
idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. This time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
아, 여기가 잠겨있던 몰리의 방이고 증조 할아버지 방에서 비밀 통로로 넘어올 수 있고. 몰리 핀치.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
저거는 좀
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
세상에. 세상에.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
너무 어두워요. 화장실도 딸리네. 대박.
I kept eating and eating.
뭐야? 이거 뭔데? 치약 아니야?
I ate a lot of things that night.
먹을 수 있는 거야? 장식 아니고? 근데 치약은 좀 충격인데?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
어?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
고양이가 됐 갑자기?
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
어디 갔지? 여기 있네.
The babies were all gone. I jumped and I almost got her.
잡혀주세요.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
저기를
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
오,
Suddenly, I was an owl.
네?
First, all I
갑자기요?
heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
풀 속에서 작은 이빨이면은
Rabbits.
어디요? 없어. 아, 여기요. 왔다.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
오,
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama
저기
rabbit.
있다. 잡았지.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
네? 여기서 상어가 된다고?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
상상력이 굉장하네. 물고기다.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
물개라고? 안돼, 물개는.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
이게 뭐야?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
오. 무슨
I
징그러운.
was big, but I moved real quiet.
깜짝이야. 먹은 거야? 오.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
뭘
I
더 먹어?
slithered onto
여기서?
the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
올라가? 전기네? 어? 이 집 아닌가?
I got closer and closer.
집인데? 창문 그대로 열려있네.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
어.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
몰리 뭐야? 10살에 죽은 거야? 아까 애기 사진이 주인공이 아니라 몰리 사진이었구나. 어디서 고양이 소리 들리는데 근데? 왜 나온 거야? 여기로?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
고양이 이름 몰리를 지었다고?
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
여기는 할머니 방이야?
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
아, 그 아까 연못에 있던 게 미끄럼틀 만들려다가 사고 난 거 그 잔재구나.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
아,
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
에디는 약간 망상을 잘했나
Louis
보네.
died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
아, 아까 그 몰리
Edie knit me a new pair
그림이랑
of gloves
다
every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
에디가 그린 거구나. 아니, 그린 거구나.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
집을 가지고 떠났어?
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
아, 어떻게 나가? 원래? 아,
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
그러면 이건 증조 할머니의 아빠인 건가? 어디로 나가요? 이제 뭐가 남았나요? 모르겠네.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
바닥에 무슨 일이야 이게?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
어? 너무 분홍색인데? 이것도 이걸로 열려? 진짜 규격이 다 똑같네?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
와우, 비밀방이 많네, 집에.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
아, 필름 그거 하는 데인가 보네. 여기도 또 어디랑 연결돼 있네? 쌤이랑 케빈의 방.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
아, 쌤이 할아버지야?
And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
입자후 그늘을
My
타?
brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
오,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
오,
The day he made up his mind
Oh.
to fly, and he did.
이게 무슨
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
그레타가 11살에 죽은 거야?
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
아이디가 막아놓은 거야?
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
어... 와, 이것도 비밀이야? 와우. 한다. 낭만 그 자체잖아.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
여기 갔다 와보자. What remains of Edith Pinch?